Hi guys, just popping on here today. I'm going to talk to you guys about the morning struggle, which I know can be super real for a lot of us. And I have some ideas for you, some mindset tips, and some strategies for you to overcome the morning struggle and what you can do to do what I call win your day. So today, as we wait for the Facebook Live to populate, I'll just continue to talk and make sure that you guys can hear me. And so when you do pop on and you can hear me, it's great if I can see that. You can just let me know by putting in the comments below, yes, yes, we can hear you, which would be great. So I wake up every morning and I definitely make coffee. So if you're a coffee drinker, then that's totally cool in my book. I love to drink coffee. I used to feel like it was something I had to give up, and I just realized that I embraced it and make it a part of my my motivation for getting up in the morning because I love my cup of coffee in the morning. Who else, when you guys tune in, who else drinks coffee in the morning? Some people's bodies can't really tolerate coffee first thing in the morning or at all. So I do have clients whose bodies, they get really anxious, they get nervous. Most women who feel that way are usually in like perimenopause, and can really their bodies start to not tolerate caffeine so well. So that's definitely a thing, not a thing for me at this point in my life. So I love my coffee. But I did find out last summer that I actually can't have cold brew. So it was weird. It was like every single year I started to feel really anxious and terrible in my body. And it always happened around June. And I was trying to take that puzzle apart for myself. And come to find out that when I stopped drinking cold brew, my life completely shifted and changed. So, as far as coffee goes, when it comes to the morning, cold brew is a non negotiable for me. I cannot have cold brew. It makes me crazy, it makes me sad, it makes me depressed, and it makes me anxious. So anyway, 5:30, we are about to go into tackling the morning struggle, and I want to tell you guys a little bit about what my mornings were like when I was a kid. I truly believe that that our whole lives aren't just what we're doing today, but they're built on our whole past selves, right? Even things that happened before us in our biology, in our parents, the way that our parents grew up, the things that our parents went through, and that trickles down to us. So if you have a hard time with your mornings, it may not just be up to you, but you might have a harder time getting up because of just what you're made up of. So, hopefully, the tips at the end of this live will be really helpful for you to go ahead and tackle that morning struggle, which I don't want it to be a struggle for you anymore. So, I'm going to reveal for you the difference between what it feels like to actually struggle in the morning and what it feels like to feel really good. And I think that we've got some things wrong about what it means to struggle in the morning. Some things we can control and some things we can't. And I'm also going to tell you the truth about that. So I see a couple people tuning in. I do want to make sure you guys can hear me. So go ahead and let me know in the comments that you can hear me. Just say, hi, yes, I can hear you. And that would be great for me so that I know I can continue on and tell you a little bit about my mornings. Go ahead and let me know in the comments. Yes, we can hear you. And I'm going to go ahead and keep tracking this and make sure that you can. There's a couple ways that I can do that. I can see, okay, Brenda says yes, she can hear me. So good. All right. So, mornings, the morning struggle. Yeah, it can be real for a lot of us. Some of us don't get enough sleep in the night. Some of us have some disruptions, some hormone things. But what I'm going to talk to you today about is installing a really simple and effective morning routine that can help you in your day, regardless of what happened the night before or the day before. I definitely am having a little bit of the Halloween candy withdrawal, not feeling so great today. So forgive me. But that can definitely be a biorhythm disruptor. So, but today I want to tell you a little bit about my history with mornings. When I was a kid, I grew up in two households. My parents were divorced. I grew up mostly in my mom's house. Child of an alcoholic, she was, and I was too. She was also. So not only did she work late and work hard as a single parent, which I have a lot of respect for, but she also coped a lot with her daily stresses with a lot of alcohol and also staying out really late at night. So my mornings as a kid most of the time were me getting myself out of bed, going down to my bowl of cereal, and waking my mom up to get me to school, which most of the time was really late. So my memories as a child of my mornings were pretty stressful and trying to get everything together on my own, trying to get my mom out the door, a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling, a lot of we're never going to get anywhere on time. So that memory of overwhelm and chaos first thing in the morning is very real for me and something that I've learned to be able to figure out how to not do. So it's my belief that if there's something we can do something about, then we should do our best to try and do that. So that was one morning for me. My other morning was my dad when I was at his house every other weekend, and he would come in and he would whistle a song about like the puffer bellies, something about see all the little puffer bellies all in a row, and he would come in and do this whole thing, and if I didn't wake up, he'd put his hands on me and shake and be like, fire, fire, and make me laugh. So I had two different mornings, right? Two different experiences of waking up in the morning. One, a lot of chaos, a lot of anger, a lot of hate, a lot of sleeping in, a lot of me on my own, and another one with a lot of joy and a lot of comfort and a lot of support in waking up. And I have a lot of fond memories with both parents, but when it comes to the morning, there's a lot of confusion over what's really working for us and what's not working for us. But I have a lot of experience with seeing firsthand, and then also myself, what it looks like to have a morning that's really destructive. So I definitely know the fullest extreme of growing up in an alcoholic home with a destructive morning, and also the extreme of feeling really supported in the morning as well. And there can also be a gray area. So without further ado, I'm going to tell you more about taking your morning struggle out. I see more people tuning into the live. Hi guys, it's so good to see you. So the first question is, what is a hard morning? And I think all of us have had it before. It's when the alarm goes off and you decide you don't want to get out of bed that first time, or maybe the second time, or maybe the third time. You definitely feel groggy, out of sorts. You don't want to, you're sleepy, you're annoyed. It's yet another day. Or you're overwhelmed about the thoughts that you have about the day that's to come. So if any of you have ever felt that, give me a hand raise and let me know, yes, I felt groggy, or I feel groggy all the time. I can't stand mornings. The last thing I want to do is get out of my bed. Go ahead and let me know in the comments that has been something that you have experienced. And I'm sure that if you're here today, you're ready to hear about how you can take care of yourself so that a hard morning doesn't always have to be your only option. A hard morning can be self-inflicted, right? So we can also acknowledge that sometimes our hard mornings are self-inflicted, like staying up too late, eating a lot of low performance, high sugar foods at night, drinking a lot of alcohol, staring at your screen until sleep hits you, or working really late at night. And these things have solutions, right? So, and these things have solutions not only that are practical, like we could just stop doing them, but we do have to be willing to address them. Some of us aren't ready to address those types of behaviors, and some of us don't really know where to start with all of that. Some of us are really afraid to let go of the habits, like having me time at night, or having the drink to wind down, or working late at night for fear that you're not going to meet a deadline. So Kim says dark mornings when the weather changes and it's so dark and you want to stay under your covers. 100% dark mornings can be really challenging. And if any of those things are things that you struggle with, we should definitely talk. But the morning struggle can also be influenced by the other. And this is what Kim is saying, dark mornings. We have no control over that. There's nothing we can do about a dark morning. Children waking up in the middle of the night, nothing we can do about that. Kids sleeping in bed with us, oh my God, kicking us, nothing we can do about that. And pets waking us up, right? So there's some things that we have control over and some things we don't. So number one, we just have to be really honest with ourselves about what we're willing to change about our evening routines in order to get up in the morning. Now, I would go into that, but I want to keep this live short and succinct for you and be able to give you the exact process of waking up that could actually help shift your evening as well. So in either case, when it comes to waking up early, you probably feel like waking up in the morning is supposed to make you a better and more productive person, right? How many of you feel like, well, if I could just wake up earlier, I could work out? If I could just wake up earlier, I could pack the lunches. If I could just wake up earlier, my life would change. Like some of us attach all of this meaning to waking up earlier as being the thing that changes our life, but we can't do it. And then so how do we feel? Then we feel like failures because if we can't get up early in the morning, then we don't have all the time to do the things, and we certainly can't get that thing done that we thought we would, or we can't work out, and then we feel like we're in a downward spiral because we just can't do it. We begin attaching the morning struggle to our sense of self-worth. So I want to let you off the hook here and just acknowledge that you're just choosing to either get up or not get up. In fact, waking up is the number one thing you've done more times right now in this moment than anything else in your whole life. And you know how to do that. You know how to open your eyes and wake up. But our brains get in the way and they say, well, you have to get up and do something with your life. Go and do the thing. Well, all that pressure that we're putting ourselves, why would we want to get up and do that? Maybe it's something brand new. Maybe it's something that we have had a hard time doing. And then we put all this pressure on ourselves to do the things. And we're setting ourselves up to wake up in stress and to not want to get up and deal with the mornings at all. Of course, you're going to want to put the covers over your head and not get up. Why would you want to do something that feels really hard, right? So instead of relying on the waking up part to do something, I want to show you a better way of waking up. Not to fix something or to have more time, not even more time to work out, guys, but a life that you live a little differently and in a way that gives you more energy instead of consistently depletes you. So there's a difference, right? Am I waking up to do something earlier because I want to have more time in my day? That's a very practical way of thinking about it, but sets us up not to be successful. Or do you want a solution to having more energy in your day, more consistency instead of a depleted day and a way of thinking, right? Doesn't that sound great? Waking up, not to do something and squeeze in more, but just to have more energy throughout the day and to feel more consistency and less depleted. So if you want that, I'm going to give you the solution at the end of this live, because the solution to having a struggle out of your morning isn't in getting more done or setting the alarm earlier. It's in a very specific, very short 6-minute thing that you can do for yourself. And it's not even meditation. So I'm going to tell you how to wake up and tackle the morning struggle. And if you can join me in a challenge group next week, let me know if you'll stick around, because I'm going to give you the morning routine, and you could join the challenge group too, so that we can have a little fun together. And the truth is, guys, that I always wanted to be a morning person. It sounded like a good idea. But every time that I tried, I felt like I failed for all the reasons that I mentioned. And as I came into parenthood, my evening desires to have my solo time trumped my ability to do it. How many of you deal with that? Like, I just want the kids to get in bed, and I really, Kathy said she's always up for a challenge. Yay! When I became a parent, I just wanted the kids to be in bed so that I could have some time to myself. Right? Like, number one thing, please, for the love of God, just go to bed so I can think, so I can watch TV, so I can have my drink, so I can have my ice cream. And all of these things were coming in and taking place in the nighttime. And I still wanted to be a morning person. There's a huge disconnect, right? Like, we can't have all of those things in this idea of our me time and the ice cream and the TV and the wine and also be a morning person. That's the truth. I'm so sorry, but it doesn't work like that. But I want you to have the morning of your dreams, and I want you to also have an evening that feels good. So it makes it hard to be a morning person when we have some of these habits in the nighttime that we really want. But we have to let go of those things that may be covering up some things that we could actually have, to go ahead and wake up in the morning and do something, or be something, to be something with our life. Okay, so that we can generate the energy that makes us feel really good, so that at the end of the night, you're not like, oh my God, go to bed. I want my pint of ice cream or my glass of wine or my whatever. I want to get you to a place where those aren't even things that occur to you, because things feel so good in the day. And this morning routine is really going to help you with that. So I am now more willing to end those nighttime habits that I thought brought me joy and welcome the morning routine that brings me joy now, not by setting my alarm earlier, but just by following these simple steps that I'm going to give you. Here's the problem. The problem isn't the time that you're getting up. And that's what we say, right? We're like, well, I just have to get up 15 minutes earlier. It's that you think that getting up early is going to solve all of your problems. It's not. If you've ever said, I'm going to get up and work out, I'm going to get up early and do the laundry, I'm going to get up and pack the lunches, I'm going to get up early and, but it doesn't happen, or you're rushing through it and heading into your day with complete and total overwhelm, then you know what I'm talking about. You've been looking for a way to create more time earlier in the day to get all the things done. That doesn't have anything to do with your personal well-being or the way that you can go about your day. So there's a mindset switch here that we have to get out of more time means more done, more value. And instead, I value myself enough to take a moment when I wake up first thing in the morning. And I want you to get on board with that, because then you'll have a more productive, more fulfilling day. Okay? So at some point, you've basically proven to yourself that you're incapable of waking up early in the morning. You've kept trying to wake up in the morning. You feel like a failure because you can't, and it's not possible to do it. It leads for the things feeling unmanageable. That's the struggle. The struggle is the way that it feels that it's unmanageable. It's not the fact that you're waking up early in the morning. So what I'm going to tell you is that also a way that I used to live my life. And I hope that I'm not alone here, because I'm going to put it all out there in all this vulnerability. I used to make excuses why I didn't show up to something in the morning consistently. It was real what happened. So real life things, right? So these external influences and circumstances that would happen that I thought those were getting in the way of me getting up early in the morning. So the kids would wake up in the middle of the night. I'd get up in the morning and say, oh my God, the kids woke up in the middle of the night. I can't get up. Or maybe the kids got into bed with me. I'd try to get up early in the morning and I'd say, well, I can't get up because the kids got into bed with me. Or the dog pooped in my house or something like that, right? And it's like, I have to clean it up and I don't want to, so I stay in bed, and that is causing me to wake up late. Or maybe I had a deadline the night before. So it's true that those things can happen, 100% true. And it's okay for those things to cause a little bit of distress, and maybe you don't get up in the morning. But the truth was that in addition to kids getting into my bed, dogs needing to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night or making a mess in the house, in addition to my deadline, I was also doing the evening things really late that weren't serving me. And then those other things became my excuse. Has anyone ever done that before? This is totally my truth. I'd be like, oh, well, the kids were up all night. Well, yeah, but that doesn't happen all the time. And even if it did, if I took care of myself in the morning, or if I had a gentler way of being in my day, or if I didn't stay up late at night, it actually wouldn't affect me that much. So I would use these excuses of things that happen in the middle of the night, or the way that I had to work late, or the things that happen in the middle of my sleep, or not getting a good night's sleep, as my reason for not getting up in the morning. Does that resonate with anyone? Has anyone ever been like, oh man, well, all this stuff happened? And it did. But the truth is, you also didn't have an evening way of winding down or did the right things for yourself in order to get a good night's sleep. Because if we can also prepare ourselves in that way, then that stuff doesn't affect us so much. So it's really important to me that I'm talking to people that know what I'm saying. Okay, Kim says that's me. Okay, phew. Am I the only person who has gone through this, where you get up in the morning, you're exhausted, you're like, of course, it's all these other things that have happened to me. But really, you just don't want to get up. Thank you. I appreciate that. And so the problem is that we thought that the earlier morning, right, would solve all of our problems. When the problems aren't solved, the excuses come in, or we call the early wake up a struggle because we aren't accomplishing enough or we can't do it, and then we blame external circumstances. So there's lots of different ways that the morning struggle really becomes a problem. But number one, as I said earlier, it's the evening routine affects the morning routine, of course, and then this expectation, which I'm sharing with you in this live in the morning, that we have to do more first thing in the morning. So if you're if you're ready for a better way to wake up that isn't just setting the alarm earlier to do something we're supposed to do, because that doesn't really work for the long term, then I'm going to show you a way to stop setting yourself up to decide again that you're a failure in the morning. Okay. So first, I want to tell you guys the morning routines that don't work. Waking up having stayed up too late. Waking up and having to rush around. Waking up and worrying or even dreading about your day, and waking up and looking at your phone first thing, going into your email or scrolling through Facebook, which leads also to overwhelm and dread. I know those things don't work because I still do them. I still do those things sometimes. And the key to optimal health isn't rewriting and being perfect all of the time, but it's knowing that what you're doing isn't working. And I know when those things have happened. When I can't get up in the morning feeling amazing, I know what's going on for me. That I'm rushing in the morning. I didn't prepare something the night before. I stayed up too late. I'm worrying or dreading about my day. I'm looking at my phone first thing in the morning. I know that to be true. So there's a better and easier and more beautiful way to have about your morning where it doesn't feel like that. And it's a really simple way to even remember it. And the number one reason that people have a hard morning is that they keep expecting the morning to be earlier to change their lives. This is what I'm saying, right? But the truth is only that they've changed the time that they're waking up only. So here's the way that only takes 6 minutes every morning. And I don't care what time you wake up. Okay, so don't start by saying, well, even I have to set my alarm 6 minutes earlier. Don't even do that. Don't start by saying, well, I'm going to start this morning routine Helen's giving me by setting my alarm earlier, and that's going to make me an early morning person. No. First, I just want you to try doing these 6 things first thing in the morning and see how it changes your morning, and then look forward to doing this because your day will also change as a result. Okay? All right. So in my program, The Energetic Eating Method, I do introduce something that's called the Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. You guys can easily Google it and look it up. There's a lot of information on it. There's a whole book on it. There's even YouTube videos on it. I've adapted it in my signature program to specifically apply the affirmations from all of my energetic programming and the visualizations that I give my clients to stop yo-yo dieting. So this step-by-step morning process helps ground you, it reduces overwhelm, and it helps you feel prepared for the day no matter what is going on. And the more you practice it, the more your body begins to get on board with getting up in the morning. Remember in the beginning, it's not about setting the alarm earlier. It's about what you're doing when it goes off, or not even what you're doing. It's how you are being. So how am I being in the morning? So number one, we're going to stop trying to be a morning person and just try to have a miracle morning. Okay, so here are the steps. And Ronnie says, nope. The steps to having a miracle morning, it's the acronym is SAVERS. Okay, so it starts with silence, and I'm going to give you guys a PDF to look at the end of this live that you can have, and it's going to have the affirmations and the steps to having this miracle morning. So first minute, silence. That's it. You're going to wake up in the morning, and instead of picking up your phone or rushing carelessly into a hectic day, feeling stressed and overwhelmed, you're going to take a moment of silence. All of us can benefit from this, but it does require you not to just hit the snooze and decide you're sleeping more. You need to sit up, relax your shoulders, take a deep breath in through your nose, relax through your body, and just have silence. Maybe you can listen for a clock. Maybe you can listen for things in the room. Maybe you have your partner or your kid sleeping next to you. Just be aware and completely silent. You can tell yourself, I have a calm mind. It's okay to relax. I don't have to get up right this second. Okay? So just try to melt the stress away. Melt the stress away when you wake up instead of inducing stress right away. You'll have a deeper sense of peace, purpose, and direction to do the next thing. So the second thing in the second minute that you're going to do is affirmations. You guys know I'm a huge fan of affirmations. Mindset is literally everything. And you can pull out the list that I'm going to share with you in just a moment in the chat, your daily affirmations. Now, I have 12 that have to do with all of my energetic programming in order to help you drop into your best self. And you can pick any of those, but my recommendation would be to read each one through and decide on one or two that really helps you unlock your unlimited potential for the day, like your most important self. As you read through the affirmations that I'm going to give you, you might think to yourself, which one of these do I really need today? What's going to be my grounding thought? What's going to help me focus on what's most important to me today? Examples include respecting the rhythm of my body, right? Examples include choosing foods that make me thrive. An example includes my body is healthy and strong today. Maybe you need that affirmation to get up, to show up to strength training or to running. Maybe you need choose that make you thrive today because yesterday you had Halloween candy and you know that that's not something that is that you want to make available to you today. So you see it, you see the affirmation, you basically lift it off the page, you say it to yourself, and you read it to remind yourself how you want to live your life that day. The next part is visualizing. So SAV, visualize. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself living that out. If we go to the choose the foods that make me thrive thing, imagine yourself choosing foods that make you thrive. What would it be like in your day? Where do you need to do that the most? When do you feel anxious? What can you reach for instead? Have you been thirsty? Where are you going to drink more water? Imagine and visualize yourself choosing the foods that make you thrive. What that looks like for you, the joy that's on your face, the smile that you can have, the way that you cut your vegetables, the fruit that you grab from your countertop, the apple that you slice for yourself, the choices that you make for yourself that you're going out for lunch with a friend or with a colleague. Smile and laugh and choose the foods that make you thrive and do that in your mind. See yourself doing it. If you can see it, you can believe it. I truly, truly believe that. Intend on accomplishing that affirmation for the day. You get to see what it looks like, you get to feel it in your body, and then you can experience the joy of what you create. Okay? Once you see it for about a minute or so, right? I'm talking about a 6-minute exercise in total. Then you can go into what's called into the exercising part. Okay? After you imagine yourself in that way, your posture is likely to be really strong, really happy, really excited. Just get on the floor, guys. Roll off your bed, get on the floor, do a couple crunches, do a couple push-ups, do a couple stretches, whatever it is, just something for 1 minute. I'm talking about 1 minute. And if you're in my energetic strength programming, I do monthly calendars where we have something. It literally takes less than a minute, just a little something. So grab something off of that 30-day ab challenge, and anyone can look up a 30-day ab challenge online. Do it. Do it in the morning. So what are we talking about here? Waking up, being silent, right? Second thing, look at the affirmations. Choose one. Third thing, imagine it. Fourth thing, exercise. 1 minute of something. It's going to lock in those feel-good feelings that you have for yourself that you just imagined. Okay, so SAVE. Then we're on to R. Okay, so R is reading. You don't have to do this, but in my program, I always have my clients go back, and the reading part is really reading over their journaling intentions that they put from the night before. So reading through that. If you have a book that inspires you or some sort of self-help book, just reading the next page in that book to get a little something for yourself in the day can be enough. And then the last one is scribing. So that would be writing. So then write down anything that inspired you from that self-help book, or you would write something down in your energetic eating journal. Again, if you're in the energetic eating program, you'd write down something, add something to it that came to you in the middle of that exercise. So that's it. It's SAVERS, 6 minutes of creating a morning routine for yourself that helps you be instead of do. From that place, you can accomplish anything. And so my recommendation after that would be to go do something, not with your phone, but to do something that feels good, right? Go make yourself a meal. Go for the workout that's waiting for you. It's only 6 minutes. Ronnie says, nope to becoming a morning person, but to trying what you say. Okay. So she's not going to become a morning person, but you're willing to try what I say. Is that what you're saying, Ronnie? I'm going to go ahead and copy the link to the 12 affirmations and the Lifesavers routine. So it's a graphic. And then I also put a link down in there for you guys for the Hal Elrod information so that you can learn more about that. But just doing that simple 6-minute thing can take the struggle out of your morning, because you're no longer thinking, I'm setting that alarm earlier to do something. I'm just going to wake up and be something. I'm going to wake up and be something today. Imagine if you just woke up and you were silent and you said that, I'm going to be something today. Choose something from the list and visualize it. Brenda says it all sounds so simple, but feels probably challenging, maybe overwhelming, right? But the last thing, like another dimension. Yeah, I can imagine that. This isn't something that I do all of the time. I would like to strive to do it every single day, but I will tell you there are pieces of it that I know are necessary for me. So when I'm feeling in a really tough place, when I'm not feeling well or I'm feeling like overly anxious, I will diligently follow the 6 steps and say, boy, like I really need this. But most of the time, what I invite in for myself is instead of a rigid plan is to say, Helen, remember when you wake up and you're silent for a minute, that feels good. Okay, Helen, let's breathe. Okay, Helen, you're about to go to boot camp. What else can we invite in for ourselves? Okay, I'm going to get on the floor. I'm going to get dressed. I'm going to stretch a little bit. And I'm going to start saying nice things to myself. My body is healthy and strong. I'm going to be okay. This is going to be a great class, right? So the second that we wake up and we invite in overwhelm or our to-do list or the things that are coming up for us that bring us fear is when our mornings feel like the struggle. So build yourself up. And then the next time that you wake up, your body starts to get on board. Oh, when I wake up, I say nice things to myself. Oh, when I wake up, I give myself a little bit of a stretch. Oh, when I wake up, I'm not worried about anything. I'm actually inducing relaxation. And I guarantee you, it'll also be easier to go to bed the night before. They do influence each other a lot. And you'll start to look forward to getting up instead of afraid of waking up. So I did go ahead and put that resource in there. If you guys, if someone can click on it and just confirm for me that it opened up, that would be awesome. It starts with the 12 affirmations from the energetic way. These are the affirmations I use through everything. And if you scroll down to the second page, it's the lifesavers. It's the things that I just introduced to you, the 6-minute steps. Now you can stretch this out, of course. You can stretch this out over a longer period of time. You could exercise for longer. You could read for longer. You can do any of these things for longer. But as a starting point, I would just see what it would be like for you to go ahead and get those 6 steps in. So were you guys able to okay, Kim said yes, the link works. If you click it, it closes the live video. So wait. Aw. Do you guys have any questions for me about mornings or even what I do in the evening or anything like that? It hasn't always been easy for me. As I told you in the beginning, I grew up in 2 different households, one with a very effective morning and one with a very chaotic, destructive morning. I've tried both. I used to be the one who was drinking until 2 o'clock in the morning too, just like my alcoholic parent. And I would go through my mornings. I would wake up and I would slam 2 V8s in my throat, and I would like down a seltzer, and I would try to be okay through the day with a lot of coffee. That was really bad. And I know most of the people here probably don't have a story that extreme. But when you've been there and you've been in a really dark place, in a really tough spot where you really have done little to nothing to optimize your life, and you're really relying on the things that aren't serving you in a way that destroys not just yourself but others, you have a lot to say about it. So I'm an open book and happy to share any of those stories or journeys with you. And I just want anybody to know that you're not alone. Like whatever the thing is that you're going through, you're not alone. We all struggle. We all have some elements of suffering, and but there is a path out. Always, there's a way through it, whatever you're going through. But it takes addressing your truths head on. It takes peeling back the layers of dissatisfaction. Like, boy, I'm really tired of this. If you're tired of not waking up in the morning, we need to do something about it, right? And the first step in doing anything is loving and accepting yourself and knowing that there's a gentler way for the morning than just setting the alarm earlier. We're just going to invite it in. Brenda said, I like the way you say invite in versus should. Yeah, those shoulds keep us back a lot. And the more that I always said, I should be getting up earlier. I should be doing this, should be going back. That's where all the guilt comes from. That's where the guilt and shame comes in from not being able to do something. We can create something that actually works for you. It doesn't have to be so all or nothing for sure. And it just starts with the awareness. I don't want to do that thing. I don't want to feel this way anymore. I don't want to feel this way anymore. So, what are my options available to me? I've exhausted them all. I've tried all of the options, all of the in between. And sometimes you exhaust all the options for anything you want to make change in your life and you realize it's got to be all or nothing. For me, alcohol is all or nothing. And that's not such a bad thing. For me, soy is all or nothing. Like I cannot have it or I feel sick. So I'm unwilling to let it in. So there's lots of little things like this in our life that, we can look for the willingness to change. And it gets to a point where we just don't want that. We're sick of it. Kathy said, I found that my morning quiet time became my favorite part of the day. So it can become something you look forward to. If, as you say, you're not harshing yourself through it. Oh, is harshing? Yeah. Is that what you meant, Kathy? You're not harshing yourself, like you're not being harsh on yourself through it? Yeah. Ronnie said, do you have any suggestions for someone who doesn't hear her alarm? What kind of alarm do you suggest for a deep sleeper? Ooh, that's tough. Here's the truth about that, Ronnie. For me, when I'm afraid, like I know when I'm not going to hear my alarm because I'm so worn down and because I haven't been sleeping well. And when that happens, and this isn't for your 14-year-old, but I actually have a friend call me. Like I put all hands on deck. If I'm afraid I'm not going to wake up for a boot camp class because I haven't gotten good enough sleep, again, I told you I'm not perfect. Like I do stay up too late sometimes. And when that fear comes in, I'm able to ask for what I need and say, listen, I need you to wake me up. Now, an alarm to wake up a 14-year-old, I'm not there yet because I have younger kids. But I think that probably most teenage. Who else has a teenager on here? If Michelle is on the and Kim, there's a couple, and yeah, and Kathy, a bunch of people on here have teenagers. What do you guys think? I like that. A 14-year-old that has a hard time waking up to their alarm. Number one, teenagers need more sleep. Like they probably need to go to bed earlier. It would be one thing, but I know that's hard. There's homework and expectations and things like that. But what do you guys think? Anybody who has teenagers who had a way of their kids getting up? Ronnie said she'll search and ask on Maplewood Moms. Yeah. And then come back in here, Ronnie, and see if anybody dropped some suggestions for you because I also had a hard time waking up to my alarm when I was a teenager and I was late to school a lot. Well, when I was at my mom's house, right? She didn't get me to school. Or when I was at my dad's house, he had to wake me up multiple times. So Michelle said, mine set their echo dots with whatever sound they need to. Ooh, that's good, but I still have to wake them. Okay. Early bedtime, phones stay downstairs, not in bedrooms. Michelle said, and they have to turn off their devices by 9 and try to sleep by 10. Okay, right. So just like adults have to try to adjust their evening routines, teenagers too, we have to figure out ways to help them be responsible for their own biorhythms, which I can't even begin to imagine what it's like. I already have a hard time getting my 6-year-old and my 8 or 9-year-old almost out of bed, like really hard time. So that's a parent struggle that is real. I don't have an alarm suggestion for that, but I like this Echo Dot idea. So I do remember having a CD player when I was a teenager, and I could set the alarm for my CD player to go and to wake me up. And I do remember really liking that. That's a great suggestion. Whoever said that about the Echo Dots, Michelle? Yeah, that's a really good idea. Can you set the Echo Dots to play a song that you really like? Like I used to have like Smashing Pumpkins would come on or Deftones or, some of that rock. Ronnie says she has one. Okay. Maybe louder. I don't know. That's a really good question though. Yeah. That's a good one. How do we wake up? Like what do we listen to? I'll tell you guys, I hate my alarm so much. It's like nails on a chalkboard. I can't stand the way that it sounds. If someone has a gentler way to wake up that's nice, a nice alarm sound, I would like to know what that is because the edge on the sounds that come out of my phone or out of my Alexa are not nice. Michelle says they can play music. So maybe I can do that on my Alexa too. See, I'm getting ideas now. This is nice. I've got a morning routine for you, but that initial opening your eyes can be tough without something nice going in your ears. Also, give yourself something to look forward to too. Like, I love my coffee routine in the morning. I love it so much. I go downstairs, I click the button. It's already prepared from the night before. I put my cream and my MCT oil and my date syrup. I blend that with a hand blender, nice and good. And then I add my coffee to it and I sip it. And it is, I look forward to it. I love it so much. And I know, and it's not just that I love it because of the way it tastes, but once I'm done with my like 4 to 6 minute getting out of bed and feeling good type stuff, then I get to have this beautiful coffee. So if nobody knows my my super secret coffee recipe, that's what it is. It's my favorite thing ever. And I think a lot of the gals on here have at least tried doing that. I love it. Especially my date syrup in there. It's really sweet and it's delicious. It makes me happy and gets me through my first boot camp before I have breakfast. Ronnie says, love the buzz idea. Oh, what's that? Oh, it buzzes on their wrist. Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's dark and early, but that means it's fuzzy robe season. So maybe Kathy's getting up and looks forward to putting on her fuzzy robe. Yeah, that sounds so nice. More cozy ideas. Like, get up, do the morning routine, get your cozy robe, go get your cozy drink, go sit down, read for that last minute of the Savers routine, do a little writing. Can you imagine that for yourself? It sounds so good. Those of us with small kids, maybe not always so possible, but Kim says she puts a whole date in the blender and it's great. Yeah, me too. I used to do the date until I found date syrup, Kim, and now I'm like, just pour it in there. Brenda also started using the date syrup, but yeah, whole date, so good. Yummy, sweet, frothy. Yeah. Any other ideas for cozy mornings? Things to look forward to in the morning. You're going to go have your coffee, right? And the way that we can start to look forward to those things is, again, this gentler way of waking up to be instead of do. Nothing has to happen when you wake up first thing in the morning. Nothing has to happen. It's 6 minutes. That 6 minutes could have been that 9 or to 10 minute snooze, right? So tomorrow morning, do yourself a favor. When the alarm goes off, instead of pressing snooze, go ahead and do the 6 minute thing. Just sit up and don't even set a timer or anything like that. About a minute. Can you wake up and be quiet? Can you hear yourself out? Can you choose an affirmation? Can you visualize yourself doing it? Put a smile on your face. Can you roll out of bed? Do a couple stretches, maybe a push up or two. Go downstairs, set your coffee, grab a book, something that you can read that's inspiring. Look at it. Grab a piece of paper. Even write down 5 things you're grateful for, something you read from the book. Simple. If you're in my program, you have other tools like your best energetic self and your morning, your most important thing. Really thinking about those things and writing them down. Imagine taking advantage of that time in the morning. Again, also, if you're in my program, you also have the module content, right? You could spend that time instead of like reading, pop open the module content. Go ahead and open up one of the things. Read it again. Inspire yourself for change. Brenda says, date syrup, game changer. Yep. T says, tea with honey and meditation music. Oh, yeah. Nice. That's right. We talked about that. Meditation music first thing in the morning. This is good stuff, you guys. And thank you all for sharing so much the things that you do. This has become such a more, way more full, chock full of some really amazing ideas than what I had originally intended. So I super appreciate you for adding this stuff too. I'm gonna find a cozy robe. Thanks, Kathy. All right, guys. Do you have any other questions or suggestions? No, we're good? Cool. Thank you all for showing up. As you drop off the live, you can just say thank you and goodbye, and I'll keep watching the comments rolling until you drop off. Brenda says, sometimes when I take the time for me in the morning, I go too long and I have to rush. Maybe I could set an alarm. Yeah, that's true. Give yourself 10 minutes or something like that. It's a good idea. Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. Have a great night, you guys. Hearts, hearts. Try the date syrup, Ronnie. Life-changing. I love it. It's better than honey or maple. You're welcome, Kim. Hey Annie, just getting in here, looking forward to watching the replay. I'm looking forward to having you watch the replay. These gals in here gave us some really nice ideas too for getting up and enjoying the morning. Heading out, send me the link for the favorite fuzzy robe. Thank you. Yeah, put it in the comments. We all want to know the fuzzy robe. We should have like team swag fuzzy robes. This is giving me ideas. All right, guys, have a good night. I'm going to cut the live now. I'll answer any questions on the replay too.